after that email, and what we're looking at doing is moving those test dates back because of the semester classes, and then because of the fact that the year-long classes are planned and for the month of April on into May to make sure you get your information taught. So we're looking at, and I'm not texting, I'm bringing up my calendar on here so we can make sure we get the dates right. Milestones end on the 9th, May 9th. So we would start SLO testing on May 10th, through May 17th. With May 10th and 11th, priority of those 2 dates be given to seniors so we can get those tests administered and graded. Does that sound good to everybody?
Say that again.
Okay. We would start on May 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. 16th and 17th would be available for SLO testing, with priority to seniors, SLO, your senior classes for the 10th and the 11th. And I apologize to y'all who went ahead and booked the library and all that stuff. I'm sorry, but it just kind of got brought to our attention that was compacting stuff in and not giving y'all enough time to teach the material. So is everyone good with that? Is that better? Is that a better fit? Okay, all right. We'll finalize all this on Monday, right, Coach?
Yes, sir.
And I'll get an email sent out, and then we can still do our sign-up. We can go ahead and get that done, so we'll have that out of the way. Because, milestone testing goes, what, a little over a 3-week period, I think. So we don't have to do it during that. All right? Makes sense? Thank y'all.
Okay. I will pull up, try to pull up this video that we was trying to watch this morning. How many of us, well, we got the ice cream machine coming in here in a few minutes. Y'all can enjoy some ice cream. They need water. Church. Come to church.
Huh? You can make it to the school. Hey, Mr. Young. My mother-in-law made that cake. She said be careful because she's scared it might be splitting. So hold it. Oh, yes, it will. She makes the best red velvet. Mr. Bacon, I would like to report this. Someone put a dead animal on my desk. I want you to pull the camera.
It wasn't me this time. It wasn't me. The last time you threw up the camera, I did it. Is that real?
Keep this real. I'm going to guess it was probably Matthew. Did you see that, Scott?
That's a real dead animal.
Yes.
Oh, you're dead. Somebody did that today.
Milestone. We're going to try to do we're going to try for the first time, we're going to do a milestone pep rally. That's something that the student council said that they wanted to do. They said since none of the coaches want to do athletic pep rallies, and they have a milestone pep rally. No, I'm just playing. I just like, but I told them we'll try, and it just depends on how to go. So we'll need, everybody's help in assisting us monitor the students. We're gonna have some they came up with some pretty decent activities that we're gonna do, and it'll probably last by the time we get them in and do a little bit of activities and get them out. It'll last a couple hours maybe. We'll try to do it that morning of the 21st of April. That morning. We can't do it in the afternoon because our seniors, we don't want our seniors to miss it. So just kind of put that on your calendar, and we're going to try to get them excited about, I guess, as excited as we can about taking a milestone.
We need questions, Dr.
Oh,
Brown.
yes, go ahead.
They're gonna do, we're gonna do a game show kind of event for it, like a milestone version of Family Feud. They call Waco Feud.
Yeah.
And so we need each content area to give us like questions for the milestones. Like questions that we could ask 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, and 12th graders. So if y'all could just get us a list of questions and answers, we'd appreciate it, because we're gonna just put it in a PowerPoint kind of thing.
Yeah, we need a bank of questions for each grade, and they named it Waco Feud. And just gonna make it a competition, we'll have a, gonna have a dance off, but I'm still working with that, especially with all this twerking and all this stuff. I think when they start dancing, I'm gonna let Ms. Getty put her in charge of the dance portion of it. And, but then they're gonna have like a lip syncing thing. Can you believe when I said lip sync, them kids like, what is that? I think they call it something else now.
Video?
Ma'am?
A human video?
I don't know. Well, we have enough of human videos around
I think they're
here.
gonna do
We ain't gonna do no more human videos.
No, he didn't.
They had finished a song. What is
Don't
that?
forget the lyrics.
Don't forget the lyrics. They want to do that. A lip sync type deal. They want to do because we're going to lean on you for this. They want to do like a wrestling skit where it's like Waco versus the milestone. The Waco wrestler versus the milestone wrestler. And, of course, the student wins pins the milestone wrestler. So, Coach, we got to lean on you for that right there. And what else did they have?
I think we talked about tug of war. For some reason, they really want to hurt teachers. Some kind
Yeah,
of
they want to do everything against teachers, so we had to slow them down on that.
And then I can't remember the other thing that we said we were going to do. I know it was the tug of war we talked about. We talked about the skit. Don't forget the lyrics. And I'm not sure. I think that was it.
Yeah, I think that's it. The jury's still out on the dance.
Oh yeah, I'm not big fan.
Yeah, jury's still out on that. We were up in Hancock at the ball game. And we had a halftime dance show. They grabbed them chairs. I knew it was finna go south. Whenever they dance and kids start grabbing chairs, that ain't good. They grabbed those chairs and put them on that floor. I was like, and of course our students were like, Coach, what was that? I said, y'all get that right. Never be doing that. Anyway, we'll go ahead and start this video with Dr. Hinton. It's basically the external review summary or whatever.
All right, good Friday afternoon to all of you out in the Waco Nation. Really proud of the work that you have all done this past week in getting us our final exit review report for SACS accreditation. There's so many of you that have had an integral part of preparing for this particular visit, and all of you that participated within your classrooms through observations as well as interviews. I do appreciate all the hard work of Washington County staff, and that means you. So I just wanted to say that to you individually today, that how much I appreciate your hard work. A special thank you goes to Audra Gilbert. She coordinated this whole process throughout the district. She's been working hard on that for about a year and a half, and just done a fabulous job. So, Audra Gilbert, thank you so much for leading our school district in this area. And then we had individual teams at each school that had someone to spearhead all of the different SAC standards within your buildings. Thank you so much. If I start calling names, I'll be here all day long. And all of you at the district level that participated and spearheaded all of the different SACs as well, we do appreciate it. Again, it was a collective effort. All of you have done well, and I'm very, very thankful for your hard work. And so what I'd like to do is just share the results with you for just a few minutes. We will use these results as we move through the summer and next year as we are looking at our district plans, our school improvement plans in order to make ourselves better. Because that's the part, or that's what SACS is all about, is continuous improvement and the things that we can do to get better as a school district. So, let's talk about the external review team. We had 5 folks to come in, 2 of them from South Carolina and 3 from the state of Georgia. The head lead evaluator was from South Carolina, and usually the head evaluator is always going to be from out of state. They spent a lot of time with us, and a lot of their time away from their family to evaluate our district. SACS is actually a national as well as an international, too, accreditation process. There are many, many schools in this country that use SACS, as well as, again, across overseas as well. Our external review team basically looks at several things. They look at things that we're doing really, really well, and they call those powerful practices. They look at things that they can leave us that will cause us to grow and things that we need to work on. And they also look at the index of quality, which is like your overall report card for the district and how we're doing. And then they make the recommendation as to whether they will continue our accreditation or not. For those of you that have been a part of SACS for many, many years, this process is very, very different. Those of you that are just starting with SACS, this is good because this is the new process for SACS. SACS used to be a checkoff type system, whether you had it or whether you didn't. It was not a continuous improvement process. It more was a compliance instrument. SACS now is all about continuous improvement. What are you doing to get better? What are you doing to improve your school district? So there is a change with that. And because of that, they require now a score or a type of scoring mechanism so that it can be evaluated quantitatively. And so that's the big difference with SACS. It's no longer a compliance instrument, it is a continuous improvement instrument. So who all did they talk to? If you look, they talked to 193 people in our district. A big crowd of kids that they talked to. They were able to actually do 44 interviews of students and 28 kids that they actually talked to in the classrooms or in the hallways. Of course, 59 of staff was also a large group, and certified people across the district as well as non-certified folks. So, 3 things they looked at. The first thing was teaching and learning. Teaching and learning for SACS is 21 standards associated with it. It is the largest part of the SACS evaluation. What are we doing in the classrooms? What's happening out there when it comes to student engagement and instruction? So they look at that in several different ways. They look at artifacts. They use the Elliott, where they come in and look at how the kids are responding to instruction in the classroom. And we're really proud of the fact that they are doing well. With the number 7 digital learning environment, we actually scored higher than the national average in that observation piece. Now, all teachers were not observed. They don't have time for that. So what they ended up doing was they take a cross-section of teachers randomly selected across the district. In leadership, they look at all of the different things that we have in our institution that falls under the leadership capacity, that deals with policies, with how we perform and act and as a collectively as a school district in leadership, how we work as a team across the district, from the board office to the school level leadership on down to the teacher level leadership. And then the last one is how we use our resources. What do we do with our resources? How do we utilize everything that we have in order to cause student learning to happen? So the overall themes for Washington County Schools is that we have very effective leadership. There's a lot of collaboration in our district. We have a commitment to shared values in our district. We build relationships in our schools. We have a real caring culture across the district. A lot of communication efforts in Washington County Schools. And we have strategic resource management. In other words, we manage our resources well. Powerful practices. Those are the things that they would like to commend us on, that we do exceptionally well in Washington County Schools. We actually have 4. The lady told me that that's the most she's ever given for a school district. So I was really pleased with that, and I hope you will be too. The first powerful practice that she gave us was a concerning leadership. She said that the district leadership, school leadership, they were all committed to a culture based on a shared values and beliefs, and that they effectively implement a continuous improvement process. And all of that process provides direct support for student learning. The second powerful practice was that the Washington County Board of Education understands its roles and responsibilities, and it ensures that our leadership is able to lead at their school level, that they have the authority to manage their particular schools and their day-to-day operations. Our board, we break it down, doesn't sit and squabble among themselves. They work for the good of kids, and they're not in our halls trying to run schools. They do a great job of that. So they felt like that was a powerful practice for the district. The third powerful practice that they wanted to make sure we were praised for was that we collectively collaborate, and that we are a learning system, that we work with professional learning, that we have staff members that participate in professional learning, that is continuous, it's ongoing, and they basically said that our professional learning strand that we have in our district is super strong. The last one was concerning our resources. They said that we did a great job in managing our budget, our facilities, our personnel, and our academics. That they were, our resources are all geared toward that, and it's very supportive in the direction that the system is going. Always, like I said, with continuous improvement, SACS is going to leave us with things that they want us to get better in, and they want us to work toward. They left us 2 improvement priorities. The first one deals with differentiated and rigorous learning opportunities. They wanted to make sure that we have that consistently across the district. They saw much of that going on in the classrooms, but they wanted to make sure that we took it to the next level, especially in our rigor and challenging. And they wanted to make sure that we did that consistently across the district. The second priority had to do with making sure that our kids have a significant someone to connect with in the district. Again, they said we did a really good job with providing mentors for our students that were struggling academically or struggling behaviorally. But what they wanted us to do was to make sure that we have someone else in the building that every student can connect to besides their classroom teacher. So we're going to work with that advisor type concept, and we'll work that into our plans for next school year and strengthen that ability within our district. Those were the only 2 improvement areas that they left for us. In conclusion, they decided that looking at the Education Quality Index, that these were our scores. Our overall score was 300.98. The national average is 278.34. So our overall score was better than the national average. Teaching and learning was at 285.71. The national average is 268.94. Again, in teaching and learning, we were better than the national average. Leadership capacity was at 326.67, and the national network was at 292.64. Our resource utilization was at 302.50, and the national average was at 283.86. So you can see in every one of the three areas, the overall three large areas that compensate for the overall internal review score, we were above the national average, and then our overall score was above the national average. Way to go, Washington County. Really proud of all the work that y'all done to achieve that. This is our baseline year. What does that mean? What that means is the next time they come, 5 years from now, they will pull this particular mechanism down. And in each one of these areas, we will have to improve. We will have to show movement or improvement in each one of these areas. So you can almost think about this as this is our report card and this is our baseline year. So, with the results that were all there, looking and talking to kids and everyone else in the district, looking at all of our artifacts, looking at our classrooms through classroom observations, they decided that Washington County Schools is performing within acceptable ranges, and that when they compare ourselves naturally, we're doing really well. Okay. So guess what? We are going to be accredited. So, Washington County School District will be presented before the SACS Commission, because that's the way this works, and this team will make the recommendation to accredit our school district with accreditation. I'm very proud of you again. That happens with your hard work, all of our hard work. Thank you so much.
Quiet because you sleep or? Okay. Mr. Marty, you all right over there? Good. Listen, again, just to reiterate what Dr. Henry said, you know, when you have an external review team coming to your district, and based on the artifacts and the walkthroughs and everything, one of a tremendous job, the artifact collection process. Y'all did an outstanding job with that. And also, you know, these people don't know us. Like I said, a couple of them was from out of state, never heard of Washington County. So all of those scores was based on what they saw in these artifact boxes and what they observed the few days that they walked through the hallways. And as you can see, we were above the national average on all of that. And that's a great job. That's kudos to all of you all for all of your hard work that you do to make these students successful. And I'll share this with you just to give you an example. We had a young lady, you know, from time to time we get students in and they're in the system, you know, they're in the foster care. You know, we got a few of these foster care facilities that's popping up in Washington County. And so we're starting to get a lot of these kids that's in the foster care system, and they come in and everything. And we got a young lady yesterday. Yesterday was her first day, and she came in from Atlanta. And first walked through the metal detector, started off bad. I mean, her first time she stepped foot in the door, it was like it was before 7:15, about 7 o'clock. So on down there was Officer Braswell. Stepped in the door, went off, went downhill from there. I mean, ain't even get inside the door. Her book bag went off. Officer Braswell was trying to explain to us. A little girl was like, it happened that she wasn't used to. As Officer Hatcher got in his car, drove around there and got her and brought her back to school. So that was the first thing that she was never used to. So then I met with I got her and met with her, the guardian, and we met, and I talked to her about, she's 15, and I think she's got some anger issues and things like that. But we talked, and I'm talking to her, and I'm encouraging her, and I'm telling her, you're in the right place, and these teachers are gonna take care of you. And I asked her, I said, well, what are your goals? What do you want to do? She's 15. I don't know. I just want to quit school. Okay, well, first of all, we got to establish you some goals. We got to give you some goals and everything. So she, I don't want to be here. So I looked at her guardian, and I was like, well, and the guardian was like, no, you got to be here. We're getting audited today. And they look at if y'all in school or not, so you can't go home, because we get the audit. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this girl is going to disrupt the building because of an audit. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, just take her home for about an hour and then just bring her back. She said, okay. So we compromised, took the little girl home, brought her back, made it through the rest of the day, and I'm walking up the hall, and I see Officer, got a 1 hour for somebody. I can't remember who it was. And the name on the 1 hour was blank. And on the slip, you refuse to give names. So I'm walking, and I hear Officer Braswell talking to her. And she turns to go to the discipline office, and Miss Walker had went around the corner. She wasn't in there at her desk, and I could hear her say, I'm not going in there by myself. And I'm thinking, oh, Lord, okay. With Officer Braswell. So she said, I'm not going in there by myself. I want to talk to that man I talked to this morning. So I was on my way back, and I said, hey, where you going? I said, I'm that man that you talked to this morning. She said, hi. I said, okay, well, what's going on? So I took her in the discipline office, and I'm reading the 1 hour slip, and I'm like, well, why ain't your name on here? Well, that lady asked me for my name. I said, well, you can't refuse to give your name. I said, isn't that a reasonable request? She didn't ask you to do push-ups or sit-ups. I said, so you got to give your name. Okay. And then she asked me for my ID. I said, well, you have an ID, don't you? She said, first she said, no. I said, well, let's go get you a. No, I have one, I just didn't want to show it to you. So I said, well, you have to show your ID. And so we go through that, and so I explained to her what a 1 hour was, and this was what period did she have you, Ms. Williams? 7th period. So this was 6th period, and we come out, and I'm talking to her, and we're walking down the hall, and we turned around right here, and she looked at me. Now, this is her first day, and this is for you all. I'm telling y'all, this is for you all, because the people that she dealt with the whole day, she turned that corner, she said to me, why is this school so structured? First day here, and that was her questioning me. She said, why is this school so structured? And I said, well, she said, everybody, she said, all of my teachers I went to are saying the same things. And y'all don't know, y'all know I'm a big believer in consistency. And she said, everybody's saying the same thing. And I was like, girl, I'm saying to myself, girl, you just gave me the biggest compliment that you could ever possibly give me. But this came from a student that it was her very first day, and she recognized. So we started talking about, we started talking about Jones. She came from Jonesboro High School up in the Atlanta area. So we started talking a little bit about Jonesboro, and eventually we get to ISS, and I take her in. I said, now, she said, when the bell rings, I go to my class. I said, sure. She said, well, I'm only going to be in there 17 minutes. I said, exactly. I said, it's a timeout. And I explained the process. She come to use 7th grade. So she made it out of ISS and came in there and went on to 7th period and eventually made it through the day. But that's how it's important. That's, just to reiterate, building relationships and having consistency and having structure and doing it every day. And making that, like Dr. said, we're going to have to start the, that's not me, is it? Okay. We have to start the advisee. That's one of the things that we have to do when when the advanced ed group come back. But that's what it's about, building those relationships and talking to those students. And she's not the first one. I remember a couple students from other high schools that have come here. And I remember a young man, he's graduated now, he transferred in from another school, and he told me, he said, you know, we were just talking, and I was asking him, you know, how does he like it here, and, you know, just having a conversation with him. He said, one thing that's different about this school, teachers care, these teachers care. So whoever came in contact with that young man, y'all made him realize that y'all are willing to take that extra step. And I know sometimes these students don't always make you feel that way, but I'm here to tell you, they notice it, and they really do appreciate your efforts. Because sometimes y'all don't have time to have these kind of conversations, especially with the ones you just want to get them out and move on with your day. But we have the luxury of having that conversation. And that's what these kids are saying about you. We had two other ones from Atlanta. And sometimes with our foster children, it's not if they're going to misbehave, it's just a matter of time when. So I'm not real surprised when we have to deal with. We had two young ladies in the foster system who decided to get off the bus, I guess it was a couple months ago. They got off the bus, and instead of coming in the building, they decided to go the other way. Well, one of them's little boyfriend was, you know, they had planned this, so he waiting in the car around the corner, and they go hop in the car. But again, teachers on duties, teachers are where they're supposed to be. Immediately, we knew they were gone. I was over at the board in the meeting. Chief Hatcher drove out to the house, picked them up. He said he don't know what was going on in there. Just when he walked in, people started scattering. They just started scattering. But he got our two students and brought them back. And when you talk to them when you talk to students that have seen things that some of us as adults haven't seen, they got a whole different mindset. And so when I went in there and talked to them, I approached them from a whole totally different angle. And it wasn't a discipline angle, and it wasn't an angle of you're in trouble. It was an angle of we came and got you because we care about you. We drove out to their house, and I told them, and y'all lucky that I was at the Board of Education, because I would have came and got you too. And we can play this game, and it's not you in trouble. It's because when you get off that bus, it's local parentis. I'm your father. And just like a father would with any child, we're gonna come get you. They were already prepared to ignore me. They were already prepared because they thought I was gonna fuss at them. But when I hit it from that angle, you should have saw them two little girls. They didn't know what to say. And well, one of them didn't make it. She's at the alternative school. But the other one, every time she made it, she just needed an alternative education. But the other one, every time she sees me, she goes out of her way to speak to me. And she's never, up until this point, she hadn't left again, you know, but it was just a different approach. So some of our children don't understand, especially our children. Can you imagine being in a foster system? You know, we couldn't imagine that. So you all do. So if they're not thanking you, I'm thanking you. I'm thanking you for the way that the patience that you have with these students, the way that you go out of your way to do the extra thing to make these students successful. And I'm telling you, they communicated with me, and they also communicated when they're doing their student surveys on your TEKS thing. And don't take those things lightly. When those kids give you 3s and 4s, when they can give you 0s and 1s and 2s, that's their way of saying thank you. That's their way of showing that they appreciate you. And I appreciate you, and I just wanted to tell you that because sometimes I know, you know, it's always business, 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 but I just want to take time out and let you all know how much I do appreciate you. Appreciate all your efforts. Thank you for bringing the SLO dates to our attention. We could have very well went in the corner and griped and complained, but when you bring it to our attention like that, then we check into it so we can make sure And fortunately, and we'll confirm it on Monday, that we could move those dates. But when we communicate like that, that's how we get things done. Again, we're in this thing together, it ain't us against y'all. I have things that I have to do, and you all have things that you all have to do. And again, I just want to tell you how much I do appreciate your efforts. Please, before you leave, if you haven't already, get your grades. Other than that, at 3:45, you have a great and safe weekend. I'll let you know as I get information concerning our senior that passed away and Miss Wiley. As I get information, I'll pass it on to you, those of you that want that information. All right? Here are two, if you want to know how notebooks should look, here are two examples of notebooks, if you kind of want to know. So we put them out just to kind of give you an idea. I can show you better than I can tell you. Thank you so much for your time. Please have a seat.